Sorry, just re-grabbing my train of thought. Okay, so
I'm
what
but
if...
I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish the sessions today, guys. I'm feeling genuinely awful, and I just sneeze a bit too hard.
Alright. What if,
There's blood in my
Sabo,
hand,
you
so I'm gonna
stay...
go deal with that.
Alright.
What if you stay and we take the ship to go to Elgara?
Very funny.
Well, you're the only one who needs to stay in this town, right?
And
Do
I'm
the
the
work
only
that you
one
need
who
to.
knows how to fix the ship if anything goes wrong.
So we just won't break anything.
Uh-huh. Serious
job. That was
ideas
super
only,
convincing.
please.
What was that, Novaris?
I said, yeah, that's a great idea. Convincing Sabo to try to get away from his baby. Yeah, good idea.
Well, otherwise we're all going to stay here until we forget about Elgara.
No, why not? We'll go as soon as we're done.
And what about when the next issue pops up?
I'm not planning to stay here for every single issue.
But there's going to
Promise.
be a next one.
Yeah, of course there is. Always
And
the next
if the
issue.
council calls on you personally?
I don't exactly owe them anything. Depends.
Well, you don't owe them, but out of a care for them, you remain. Well, not a care for them, but a care for the society. And the value it brings you.
Do you mistake me for Kevin?
Do you not like the fact that they are adapting your technology?
Nah. Yeah, if I stay here, I'm gonna stagnate. I don't want that.
So you're going to stay here for how many more years to finish handling the construction of the ships?
Oh, I'm not gonna stay here to finish construction. I'm just going to stay the weeks needed to ensure that there's enough people who know what they're doing. We're not constructing the flying ships. We're just... I mean, they've been working on the slime engine technology for what? For 3 years now. They are well progressing with constructing that. Just need to make sure that they know the new designs. And they can start building them, and then hopefully we return in time to put the teleportation on it and they can be off. But even without teleportation, these ships are going to be far superior anyway.
What I'm hearing is years of delay, though, for the research for the teleportation drive. Sorry, not drive, circle.
How is it? How are we delaying research? No. We don't have to stay here to do that research, as Novaris has already agreed doing it on the way. If Novaris thinks that the research is going to take years, then there's no reason to sit here. If he thinks that we can do it on the way, well, let's do it on the way.
So it would be a couple of weeks to do what exactly here?
Make sure that they are able to construct the ships the right ships for exploration, and the new mayor has everything. Well, not that the new mayor has everything handled, but that the new mayor and the shipwrights know what they're doing, and we can be off. And then I don't know. There's 3 locations. If we check the first location and it's not there, and we've researched the teleportation technology already, maybe we come drop it off. And well, if we haven't, then we can go to the next location.
Nia would tell you that aspirants stopped to do some math. How many weeks?
How many weeks do I think I need to share the blueprints properly for the new ships? The kind of by how to pack a lot of engine into the ship, into a smaller ship.
Well, you designed those blueprints 4 weeks ago, and you spent 2 weeks designing them. That is 2 of 8 weeks, so you need 6 more weeks to finish the designs, and from there, anyone should be able to use those designs to construct a ship, assuming they've got the materials.
Right. Need about 6 weeks. I suppose we're gonna need some time to wait for the Arcanum anyway. We can go do the crystal creatures. That's a couple of weeks in itself. I can work while we're finishing up here, getting ready, and then I can share the designs. Wouldn't I have started working? Yeah, because I finished the ship and then we flew off. Then I spent a week on that, so I spent like 2 weeks flying back. Yeah, I'd say I spent 3 weeks so far on it. I can maybe try to double time it as well, if that will make you feel better.
Okay, if you double time it, we've got a deal.
Right. Awesome.
Aspirant grabs Nia's hand, gets Nia to hold up their hand to you to shake.
Okay, I'll shake Nia's hand, and I'll go get one of the main shipwrights to help me finish on the designs. So it's faster, and they already in tune to what's going on.
All right.
And I will also go to my underground network and tell them to make sure nothing else to
I believe they've just
give
hit
me
level
any
2 as
news
well.
of anything exploding nearby. Maybe try to see if there's any remnants of the unhappy people left and planning anything else. Don't want to be exploded while I'm still here. Thank you.
Okay, do you have knowledge crime by any chance?
I have Gnomish Obsession, which I can attune to that.
Okay.
because I don't
In that
need it
case,
for
can you make me a
shipbuilding.
knowledge check? This is specifically for recall knowledge.
Yep. Let me just
Now that it's at level 2, the underground network can reach black markets. Okay,
36.
which means you are able to find out that there is red powder on the black markets for sale.
Can we find out how much? Approximately. And also black markets in this town or in general in the nation.
This is tapping into this region of the nation, so this entire state.
Did the state have a lab with that was doing red powder?
It had 2. One of them was the one in that town.
Okay. Okay. Can they tell me like a bit more information, like when it started appearing on the black market? Probably more than 3 weeks ago.
It only appeared in the black market in the last 3 or 4 days. Well, in any significant quantity.
Okay. And what is it going for?
Okay, so firstly there's orange powder going for 9 gold a charge.
What's
Okay.
orange powder?
It is a mixture compound of red powder plus some other substance.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's red powder, which is going for 14 gold a charge. Which is about 7 times standard market price.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna buy it out.
So I'm stepping away. I'll be right back.
Yep. I'll guess I'll go to.
Alright, what do you need sent? Or is it private?
Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt you to know.
Are you sure it's not
Would it?
classified? I am fine with not knowing. He seems slightly stressed out.
Yeah, let's keep it. Let's say it's classified then.
Okay, he shows you the mailbox. Put it in here.
Right.
It will be teleported to them. It takes like a week to be delivered, but other than that, fastest way of transferring information we've got.
Fantastic. I'm going to just send a letter about the black market and well, everything I learned, and basically that's it.
Alright.
And that the mayor didn't seem to have any extra stash. And then I get back to my business, and I suppose we can do the designs while we take the trip to see the crystal creatures.
Keep in mind that when you're... Oh no, never mind, you've got the drive. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yep, I'm okay taking a trip to the crystal creatures now.
Okay.
With the shipwright while we plot some blueprints.
So, Kevin.
Yes.
They decided they were going to let you decide what happens with the boy.
All right.
To catch you up, the drow has been executed, so the mayor of the town.
Okay.
Then he was bled into the chalice.
Okay.
And now it's time for you to decide what you're going to do about the boy.
I would talk to the boy, let him know that what criminal charges he's facing and potential outcomes he's facing, um, and ask him how he feels about this.
The boy gets therapy. What a terrible punishment.
He doesn't want to die. He's just heard about the mayor, he does not want to die.
Do you feel as though you do not deserve the same fate because you participated in the same plan?
No, of course I don't.
Why not?
I mean, he's the mayor and I'm just a kid.
But you were a part of the same plan, were you not? You
Not
had every
really.
intention. You had every intention of blowing up that third ship, didn't you?
The kid goes quiet and just starts sobbing.
I'll give him some time to let out his own feelings, and then. So, why do you think that you deserve a different fate?
Sorry, guys, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Because I'm not bad.
If you are given a second chance, what are you going to do with it?
I won't do anything like this again.
That's a good start, but what are you going to do?
I don't know.
This question's going to be really important for you really fast. Do you know how many people were on that third ship?
Ah, crap baskets. He fails to compose himself.
I'll give him another minute, and I'll ask him again. How many were on that ship?
I don't know, lots.
And you were going to take each and every one of their lives, right?
I'm sorry.
That's a good start. You shouldn't be apologizing to me. James, above table, how many was it on the ship? Was it about 20 or 30?
On the ship at the time, there would have been I think it's 17, and then 20
Okay.
others get onto the ship afterwards.
"17 people.
I'm sorry.
It's not me you have to say. Sorry to.
The kid is failing to give anything that you would find remotely stable
Useful.
as a response.
Yep, that's fair.
I would say useful is several tiers above what he is giving you. For a DC 10 check, getting a 7 is not good.
No, not ideal. So, I want you to take a moment here. Take a few minutes, compose yourself, and we'll continue. And after giving him a few minutes, whether he successfully composes himself or not,
Okay, only a failure, not a critical one. Actually, I'm going to spend an inspiration. Let's see if you can get lower. Nope, never mind.
ooh, do I give him a +5 to make it a success?
Ah, he's only
James,
got the
don't you wish
12.
you could? James, don't you wish you could have a -5 here?
I do wish I could have
Oh.
a -5.
Oh, that's right. You gave him disadvantage.
Okay. The kid is struggling.
So-
But
But he's attempting to compose himself.
he's
Poorly,
spitting
but attempting.
he's spitting out the words that he would make it right. He's not sure how, but he's going to try to.
So, if you are given a second chance, you have to make up for 17 lives. Is that something you think you are capable of? Because that's ultimately the deciding factor here.
Yes.
It's your life versus 17 lives.
Yes. I can make up for that.
In addition, you're going to have to talk to every one of those specific 17 people.
Most of them are dead.
I think there was 4 survivors from that ship.
In that case. So you're going to have to talk to the 4 survivors from that ship.
They'll kill me.
I can be there with you.
And are you ever going to leave?
After you talk to the 4 people.
The kid just goes pale in the face. Please don't make me do that. I'll die.
James, at this point, no one's aware of what this kid has done, right? Besides the mayor, who has now been executed,
Yep,
and like the council.
correct.
Well,
No one
also
in town
every
has,
other conspirator.
no one in town has been made aware, except for you guys. The girl, she escaped, in air quotes, when you told them to leave. The guard
Some of
who
the
caught
guards that
them, but
caught
he
him.
doesn't, the guard doesn't know in what way he's involved because he wasn't there for the interrogation.
Right.
Some of the other conspirators probably know, which we are not going after.
Okay, we decided we're not going after them. Got it.
But other than those people, you're not aware of anyone else who knows.
How reasonably sure can Kevin be that those 4 survivors will take everything out on this kid if he goes to talk to them?
Very sure.
Okay.
The people of this town, of this nation, really, they don't have a jailing system because when you commit a crime, you pay for the damages that you cause, and if you cannot afford to, you die.
Got it.
This kid is 16. He does not have the finances to afford.
No, he does not.
He's only just become an adult.
In that case, so there were 17, only 4 of them survived, so 13 were killed. Rough numbers.
Approximately, yes.
Then the 13 that did not make it, what will you do for their families?
I don't know. I'll pay for their losses.
Do you not think that they will also take things out on you once they are aware of what you're doing?
I won't let them find out. I'll carry the secret, my burden. His teeth are
sounds like
slightly
a
gritted
question.
as he says that. Well, I've got to, don't I?
No, I think one way or another you're carrying this event with you for the rest of your life.
He does not catch the implications of that.
See, the way I see things, you're rather lucky that the decision was left to me.
What do you mean?
the decision on your punishment was left to me, and exclusively me.
Make me a perception check.
$30?
Okay, you easily read the look of relief on this kid's face.
I wouldn't look so relieved just yet. Because there are still 13 lives.
And now he looks horrified again and like he might have shit himself.
Now, I, for one, like to believe in redemption. But I also know that there are times where it's not possible. So this is your chance to convince me that this is possible.
Yes, sir. I'll make a difference, sir, I swear.
That's a lovely thought. How?
The kid tries, and he tries, and he tries.
And I'm pretty well sure I can tell that he just can't get his thoughts together because of terror.
It's not just terror, it is... He doesn't know what could be done to make up for what he's doing, so he's just throwing words out there to try and not die. Really, you just get the sense that he's trying to save his own skin.
See, this really feels like you're worried more about yourself than those 17 others that you affected.
I'm sorry, sir. He's just crying at this point.
Do I do a stupid thing?
Well, it's you, so yes.
There we go.
I mean, fair point. Does Kevin take another apprentice?
Well, we don't have infinite space on the boat.
Take another apprentice, then make them both fight to the death to see which one gets a stake.
No.
That works.
So, I have an idea.
Yes, sir?
You want to make things right, right?
Yeah.
You want, and I can very easily tell that you want to live.
Yes.
And you have no idea what you can do for the 17 lives, right?
Yes.
I think the only way that I can be certain that you try to make a difference and actually work on succeeding at that is if I never leave your side.
What do you mean?
Means I think
You're my bitch now.
that we teach you what it means to be true to your word.
The kid looks relieved. He does not understand the implications.
I think we teach you what it means to swear your word to someone. Or more specifically, to yourself, to the very core of your being.
He looks confused.
Are you familiar with champions and their oaths?
No, sir.
Well, a champion is a person who believes so strongly in their own convictions and their own beliefs that they swear oaths to either themselves or a higher power. It depends on the champion to uphold certain values that they care about deeply.
I see.
I am one of those. So I know exactly what it means to swear your word to something.
Okay.
And I think the only way that I can make this fair, as it were, is to have you swear your word to make right your wrongdoings and show you how.
Okay. He agrees.
All right. Then you're with me now.
He nods.
So, time for your first lesson. Let's teach you what it means to do the right thing. And I will take him back to the ship and let everyone know that Kevin has a second apprentice now.
Okay.
Once I introduce him, I'll let him see if he needs to gather any of his things from the town and whatnot, and I'll escort him doing so.
Yep. He packs his bag. And then he follows you back to the ship.
Perfect. Now, I don't know that we ever got this kid's name. What's his name?
Let me check.
Maybe we should keep that until a few sessions later, just in case, you know.
Let's
Don't
not
get too
name the rat.
I think the actual name of this kit is Blood Bag because Sabo will probably drain him into his chalice. I think that's what he's getting at.
We all know that this kid's gonna end up in that chalice. It's just a question of how long.
Not if Kevin can help it.
Well,
Kevin
let's
usually
see.
can't help it, but Kevin's
Let-
gonna try.
Let's see how that kid fares against
Why
the
not make this
crystalline
kid a hero
beast.
forge?
You didn't
Could
expect
have sworn I did.
that kind of stupidity from Kevin.
Yeah, somehow you let them put Kevin in charge of this. James, you should have known this.
Well,
What else are we gonna do? I mean, at least I get a chalice charge. Call that a win.
okay. If I'm not mistaken, his name was Aiden. But let me check.
That does sound right.
I remember finding it funny that the character's name was named after someone else. Because the concept of Aiden, the player, being a terrorist was hilarious.
Yeah. Come on, if anyone's going to be a domestic terrorist, it's going to be Novarius or I. It's the Americans in the part of the group.
Okay. I'll look for the name after the session. But I believe it is
That's
Aiden.
fine.
Right. So, after you've got him, there's the plan to go check on the crystal creature.
Yep. We go.
What crystal creature?
Lesnar, the elf that was in the celestial town, informed me of these creatures, and they seem to have some sort of like unique unique like properties that seems to be
That's right.
somewhat
Yep.
similar to Arcanum, and she gave me that as a tip, something that might be
Gotcha.
helpful.
Sounds good.
Let's go.
Alright. Can I get 3D10, please?
3?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it's further away. Shouldn't we get there faster when flying?
Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. So it's not that it's further away, it's that you've got to circle the region a couple times to actually find exactly where it is.
Okay, I'll do it. Uneventful.
See,
Okay.
19 days north, 4 days west of city, not the port town.
Yep. Can I get a D100 and a perception check, please?
Perception check will be me, please.
From everyone? Or
Just
Sabo
whoever's
since he's
piloting.
That's that'll be me. Should I? Well, I mean, I'm legendary perception, so. Oh, come on.
That doesn't look like a very legendary roll to me.
That
99!
looks like a pretty legendary roller.
Okay. So, you spot a crystal tower. Outside of this tower, you see worms and stuff crawling up the sides and around the sides, You also see a spider web of woven crystal at the base of a tower next to some trees, and a crystal spider sitting in it.
I think that's what we're looking for, Novarez.
Outside of a tower, you see a giant made of crystal.
Yikes.
Wrestle?
He is currently going over to a tree and splitting it in two. He appears to be gathering some wood for something.
You want to send your apprentice to have a chat with them?
Please no.
How does he take notice of the ship flying overhead?
Not at this stage. Perks of having the spy glasses.
Are they bigger than? Is the giant bigger than the ship? Ship size? Smaller than the ship?
More importantly, what size category is the giant?
That's basically what I'm asking.
So if we were to look at this... See how there's the solid black colossal?
Yeah.
See how there's two shades
Have a look.
that are lighter? He is the lightest
Yeah.
one.
Oh, goody. Not even Kevin can wrestle him.
So he is bigger than Colossal.
Yes. The upper
So
bounds of
it's-
colossal.
Okay. I'm just gonna look at Nolvaris. Are you sure you want to get close to that?
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to result in violence.
Sure. Okay. I mean,
It doesn't have to result in
want-
violence. Have you met the crew of this ship?
you want to go have a chat with them?
Yes. I have a
Uh,
means of escape. I have a means to escape if things get difficult. So
All right. Be my guest. I guess I shouldn't have rolled a 99, guys. Sorry.
No, this is fine.
This was one where you roll a 1, so it's a one tiny little spider.
The D100 didn't determine that.
Oh, okay.
This is something that Kevin decidedly can't wrestle, and obviously now he needs to be able to.
Okay, Kevin has a new life goal.
Yes.
Okay, well, finally. All right, Novarius. I guess I'll just keep the ship around here somewhere.
since we can actually see it, any kind of check I can make to try and get some sort of insight into this colossal being.
Yep, go ahead. It'd be a perception check.
What? Just perception? I mean, like in terms of other skill check.
Ah. Do you have knowledge giants? Otherwise it'll be knowledge planes.
Yeah, I have plain.
Okay. This creature
Pretty good,
appears to
definitely.
have absorbed some sort of planar energies, crystallizing his flesh. It's unheard of for giants, especially the colossal kind of giants, to have crystallized flesh. Though it's not unheard of for their flesh to be as hard as crystal. The spire looks to be like some sort of home. Maybe they were located on a plane that had this crystal spire, and then when they were transported here, they somehow absorbed the planar energies of it. You're not quite sure in that regard, What you are sure of, though, is that this region appears to be a fusion of that plane and this plane and the material plane. You can roughly see where the fusion occurs, sort of like the border of the region. This creature
Okay.
seems to be intelligent and is currently actively gathering resources for something. You're not sure what it is, but the fact that they're gathering resources means that they've got long-term thinking. They don't seem to
Yeah,
be
makes
actively
sense.
hostile against all creatures, otherwise the spiders and worms around the spire would be dead.
So the giant is separate from the tower itself.
Yes.
Okay.
The tower could probably hold maybe 90 of those creatures from how large it is.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, okay. All right. Find
Though
some
you see
place to
no
set
other
it.
signs of any others.
All right, Sabo. So try and find some place to set us down.
I don't.
Maybe not be secret. Maybe not be super secretive about it, so I can at least try and make my intentions known before I get the jump on them.
Okay, question. Do I see somewhere to set us down?
Not
I wanted
really.
to.
There's no
Look,
local
I
water
think-
supplies.
Look, I think we're gonna keep it up. Keep it up.
Can you get us within about? Oh, how far down are we? Yeah, are we within like a mile of the ground?
At the moment you're about 10 miles in the air.
Just get me to about a mile of the ground, and I can get there.
Yeah. How far away do I need to stay for you to be able to get back?
I just have need to be. I can. My teleport can actually take me about a mile up. So as long as you're
Okay.
within a mile, I can. That's all I really need.
Okay. I'll be within a mile. I'll keep it within a mile. Do you want to have some kind of a sign for me to blast it with the cannons?
I'm pretty
I'd really
sure.
rather not try.
I'm pretty sure if you see, giants are known for throwing large boulders at things. So if it's getting ready to throw something, then you should probably know that's when it's time to go.
Okay, well then when it starts throwing things, I really need you to get right back to the ship because
Oh, I will have another teleport prepared.
okay. All right
Can you
then.
take me with you?
What do you say?
Can you take me with you?
I cannot.
Dang it.
I'm sure you can just drop the chalice charge overboard and see if and see how aggressive the giant is first. Well, anyway, I'll take it down to 1 mile.
Okay.
Do they respond? Do they respond at all?
They
Do I
take
see
note.
actually see it since- I am going down. I wait. I actually do like wave at them. Can I take any sort of can I take a society check knowing to see if I can understand giant culture? So I not to make any sort of faux pas.
Yes.
That could have been better. I'm gonna re-roll that actually. Oh yeah, that's fucking better, I guess. Anyways,
So, wow. Okay. So giants don't
Can I
waste
give him
time. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll give him aid on this. I can
Alright.
certainly do it with my
That's +2,
26.
correct?
Unless I critically succeed. Which I think I do. With +4.
Okay. Giants are very direct creatures. They don't like to waste time on deception, on flattery. They also don't like to embellish or be creative with their speech. They tend to just speak flatly and pointedly.
plain, and they also sort of probably more respect people that are speaking plain.
They really just don't waste their time on people who aren't communicating properly with them. They tend to just kill them or send them away.
Okay, sounds about right. So as we do come in, I do go ahead and I wave at them, like, trying to state, showcase, I'm not hostile.
The giant takes note, and you see him taking several trees and splitting them apart, almost like he's trying to create a little ship bay by stacking them up.
He looks over. He looks over to Sabo.
I will start taking it down, I guess. Since the giant seems friendly.
Just as a warning to everybody, they're very plain, direct, and to the point. So, yeah.
Simple.
Yeah,
I like
you're
it.
not allowed to talk. Yeah, keep quiet.
If Nia speaks, they will probably get you all killed.
Yes, we've gagged. Yeah.
That seems a little excessive.
No,
That's only one way to stop Nia from speaking.
I wouldn't have left them conscious. Okay. So with that out of the way, the giant almost glides your ship into the bay, assuming that you actually get close enough to allow him to do so.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's kind of like seeing a kid playing with a ship that's about half as big as him.
So he's having the time of his life.
Well, the ship is quite heavy. So it's more like he's trying to not break the giant Lego ship.
Giants speak high speech. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Once the ship's on the ground, the giant sits down, crushing a few trees and a few logs. And he just leans in.
So in in high speech, when we descend down, I give the giant a proper bow and says, "Greetings. My name is Novarius, and I've heard about this place that's caused from the shifting. If you don't mind, I would like to investigate and learn, if you would let me."
Where are you from?
Where, I guess, where are the relative, where relatively would my original home grove be? So, like the relative north, west, east, or does it really matter?
You're not actually sure. It's really... I'd actually say it's impossible to triangulate the position without actually knowing where you were on the material plane.
Okay, that's. I am from originally from a druidic grove, far away. Unfortunately, with the shifting, I wish I can tell you where my homeland is, but
I'm gonna kick
it's lost to
Nalvaris in
me.
the shin as I hear him babbling. Be direct.
He's speaking in high speech. Does he
That's-
actually reply in high speech, or does he actually?
He is speaking in high speech. He doesn't
is?
actually
Okay.
know human.
Whatever Nalvaris is saying, it's taking way too long compared to a 3-word question that the giant asked. Let's kick Nalvaris.
Why are you here?
I am a researcher. I wish to actually to study how much this area has changed with your
I kick him
arrival.
again.
The giant bites what would be the flesh off his fingertip, but it's actually just a crystal off of, well, his fingertip. Takes it from his mouth and just places it on the ship carefully. It scratches the wood as it gets placed down.
How big is this thing?
About the size of your fist. Maybe a bit
Okay.
bigger. I was of flesh. A man,
I'm sorry.
a giant. Now I am crystal.
Did this happen to you with the shifting?
Yes.
Did it hurt at all? It looked like it would have
Yes.
been awful.
There is not blood in my body.
Sorry, I'm thinking. Did the tower also from your homeland?
Yes.
And I'm assuming all these native creatures also, they were not like this before the shifting as well.
I was located in the astral plane. They were my pets from many planes. A spider from Golath. The worms from the Underdark.
He sort of looks up at the worms and everything, and he sort of marvels at them. An impressive collection.
Can you reverse
are there other?
this?
I do not know, but I would not be opposed in trying to find out if it is possible. I'm not sure how many others have come to you and actually observed this.
There have been 4. 2 have been killed.
Because they failed or because they were rude?
Because they did both.
I understand. If you permit me to research this area and see if I can take in observations, I can take this back elsewhere, this information, and see if I can learn any way to reverse this crystallization process. I can't tell you how long it will take, because this has never been seen before. But I can put in the effort to see if I can reverse this malady.
If you can only do it to one, then do it for my boy.
I can make no promises, but I will give it my heart that to see if I can reverse this.
The giant nods and you feel a wave of air.
Just from his sheer form waving at me,
Yep.
nodding. So does he permit me to like look around and
It
at
appears
the local
so.
area and poke and prod? Okay.
He
goes
doesn't seem
ahead.
to be
So
moving because he doesn't want to hurt any of you.
He goes. Navaris elaborates everything that the conversation afterwards.
Okay.
And
Uh,
after he's done, he takes out his notebook and he immediately starts and like walk around making observations and like collecting like samples specifically from like the breached area from the transition between like original material plane and the crystallized version, and just like trying to like gather whatever samples he possibly can from like the local area, just starting on the outside and working in.
I would like to grab Leuven and work on the little chunk of giant that was provided to us.
Okay.
Just helping Leuven with whatever Leuven wants to do to figure it out.
Leuven's got no idea. This is not even close to his field of magic.
Well, can we see if we can separate it out, split it apart?
Okay. He takes it down to your... you moved across your gem work area, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yep. So he'll take it there and then just start whacking at the crystal.
Not what I had in mind.
Well, if we can reduce it to powder, maybe we can find flesh in it.
Yeah. Trying to identify it. Crafting? Don't think it's crafting. Maybe the material can be identified.
Let me see. Nature would probably be best. Or medicine. But nature's probably the primary one, with medicine being a couple down.
Nature we can do.
Do you want help with the nature check?
I mean yes, or you can take lead if you wish.
Kevin is an expert in nature.
Okay. I'm plus 21.
Oh, yeah, plus 14. You're significantly higher level.
Okay, you can help. Yes, this counts as an
Remind me and I'll give you guys
investigation.
the XP for murdering the drow.
Oh yeah, we did take him out to sea. It's only a 32. I'm not rolling well today.
For the aid,
I think that's just enough. No, I'm level 13.
I'll plus 5 it.
What, you better plus 5 me than the 8 then.
I can plus 5 both of them.
Okay. We're up to what? 39? I guess I can advantage since we're using.
Alright.
Oh. 41. Hmm.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
about right.
39 it is. Why not?
Okay. So, alright.
Can Leuven also aid?
He is trained in nature.
As am I.
Alright.
That's enough. 41.
All right. Okay, so inside of this gem, there is tiny chunks of flesh. Chunks are actually imprecise. It's more ground up flesh, like in between every atom of flesh, well, not every atom, every cell for the most part, a crystal grew out and it basically ground up a bunch of other. Sorry, not a cell, a. What are those called? So, for example, in your thumb, there's the grooves. In between those grooves, crystal grew, and it ground up all the bits around it, isolating them into tiny little cell chunks. You can see this over and over and over again through it. If it wasn't for the fact that the cells were so large for this creature, it would be... well... if this creature was human in size, you wouldn't be able to see these things.
Right. The other cells, the fleshy cells, dead now?
You're not sure. There doesn't seem to be any rot to it, but that might be because it was preserved in crystal.
But there's also no blood flowing around.
Correct.
Removing this crystal. Can we try to magic it away? Are we actually able to break it into chunks?
Yep, you've been able to break the crystal into almost a fine powder to actually see this stuff.
But
Can we-
in theory, wouldn't we like have to replace the cells that the crystal replaced?
It didn't replace them. It seems like it just. It seems like
Destroyed them?
these. It's not even destroyed, just went in between them. So I'd be guessing that the giant was smaller before. Although still a giant. Thinking if we could just remove the crystal and keep them in one piece.
Well, what's the percentage of crystal to flesh?
Probably
Okay.
99 to 1. There's definitely
Yeah.
flesh missing here, or that giant size was increased maybe 10, 20, 30, 50-fold. But that can't be the case. Not if they were already living in that spire.
Well, that spire is also crystal now. Can we get the information if that, get Nelvarius, tell him what we learned, and figure out if the spire was already crystal, and if the giant has changed in size significantly, as far as he can tell.
And I think I've already established that the spire wasn't crystal beforehand, but I didn't. But not if the giants actually changed size.
They just confirm.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so the spire was crystal. The area around the spire was not crystal, though. As for the giant, he did not grow in size.
So basically, the crystals ended up replacing the flesh. but not completely. We can deduce.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell the Lars, well, there's always the reincarnation path. Uh, uh, I don't really know what we can do to regrow this. Does it look like any kind of affliction?
Well,
Like a curse-ish effect?
not necessarily a curse, but it could be considered a disease.
Can I try to do the one charge super restoration from the chalice on one of its pets?
Let me take a look. Alright, is there anything you'd like to do before you try that? What were you saying, Novaris?
Well, obviously, obviously, we probably want to like ask the giant that we can attempt to use this, but we're going to experiment to
Course.
see if this chalice can restore him. That perhaps we should test it on something else that's living. We can test it on one of his pets to see if it's actually something that's successful. Because it might be a disease of some kind.
It could be dangerous, so we want to test it.
Yeah. Obviously, we want to test it on there. We don't want to test it on him or his child. It's
Alright.
one of many.
He
It's one of
stands
many
up and
it's
goes
one
and
of
grabs a
many
worm.
avenues.
He places his finger against the crystal, cracking some of it in the spire as the worm crawls onto his finger. Then he goes back and sits down, holding the worm out to you all.
Give the worm a drink.
Okay. You hear the crunching sound as the worm drinks it. As inside of a crystal, you can see red and purple. And it's kind of like the fluid is splitting the crystal as the worm kind of explodes with blood rushing out of all the cracks as it rapidly begins to bleed to death.
Kevin?
Do I have a chance to
You?
lay on hands?
Okay, you start using lay on hands. You start pumping healing magic into the creature, restoring blood as it loses it. You see other cracks begin to form. It is currently losing 13 hit points per round, and it's going to lose 1 additional hit point each round.
What other abilities does the chalice have? There was something else. I'm just gonna look it up.
Like, is this a runaway effect that can't be stopped? Or you just have to keep burning through healing?
It could be possible that as the crystal all breaks away, it might be possible to heal the creature through this if you can keep it going with enough healing magic. But you've got to heal it faster than it dies. But the crystal is decaying, chunk by chunk, as it basically cracks and the creature starts bleeding more.
Can Connor assist?
Connor will start assisting.
He said it's only 13 points of 13 points of damage per. So you can
13,
sort of
and then
space it
next
out.
round it's going to be 14, and then the round after it's going to be 15. With one
That's
more
fine though, just for
each round compounding.
well for Kevin's sake, so he doesn't have to heal every single time he takes a tick of damage. So you can
Yep.
actually space it out.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to because I can lay on hands once.
Wait, don't you have multiple uses?
Nope. It's once per focus.
Oh, okay.
Champions get one focus spell, so they have one focus point.
You can get
How
more
long does it
focus
take?
points.
At least champions at this level.
Takes 10 minutes to get your
How,
focus point back.
Oh, you know what? We have Flurry. Flurry can do the healing through it.
Alright, let's see what Flurry's got.
She has straight up heal. She's used it
Yeah.
before already. She
Uh,
can also. She can
It's
also.
just a,
She
it's
also
just a
has Breath
question of how
Life,
many
too.
times can she do this. I'm just seeing what her most efficient healing option for the long term is.
yeah. So I could like if we're gonna do that, the person who's gonna be like Flurry could also, for next time obviously, attune to the chalice, which would heighten it by 2 and automatically heal the maximum. And then the chalice itself can do more.
In that case, she's going to spend
10d6s.
this round attuning to the item.
Okay. Let's see if we can keep this worm alive.
Okay. So after that, she's going to burn a second to cast heal. So that's 20. Oh, sorry, no, that's 16.
Remember, heightened by 2.
Heightened by 2, so that becomes 4, so that's 32. So that brings it back to full. Round after she doesn't need to. Round after that she can again. So she can keep this thing alive for over a minute. Before, like, just off her second level spells.
Mm-hmm.
For a third level one, she can keep it alive for 4 more minutes. That would use up her third and first. Then her fourth can keep it alive for another 2 minutes.
Is this thing like coming together, or is it just
The
perforated?
the chunks of
worm?
flesh are basically going away. Sorry, the chunks of crystal are going away. It's bleeding and bleeding and bleeding, and then occasionally flesh is starting to form in those areas. But it's basically reconstructing and restoring the organs on the inside first.
Mm-hmm.
The restoration effect is what is allowing anything to actually cause this creature to live, and then the healing magic is what is keeping this thing from dying as the restoration effects going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then a fifth can keep it alive for 1 more minute. So that is 2, 5, 7, 8, 9 minutes of sustained healing from her. And this creature looks to be about 30% reconstructed.
30% reconstructed, and that's only after like the
9
3 rounds
minutes.
that have passed.
All right. I guess that's enough data for us.
So so 9 minutes only yields 30% restoration.
It's gonna
Yes.
take 30-40 minutes.
We don't need to heal this worm to full.
No, but for
Oh.
something of that size, it would take
Yep.
30 to 40 minutes of continuous healing, and
So
the giant is
yeah.
significantly bigger.
So let's ask the question: how much bigger is the giant, or rather, the giant's boy?
Well, the worm is only large.
Okay.
The giant is effectively. What would that be? 2, 4, 8, 16, 30. 24 times larger.
Oh, cool. So just like 12 continuous hours, or well, 9-ish hours of continuous healing.
If we were to use the chalice to wish one of them to flesh,
Here's actually a question: if the worm is allowed to die, can Flurry then turn and Breath of Life it back? Does the
no,
restoration continue after it
in
dies?
pieces. Yeah, actually, let's try that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because Breath of Life prevents the death, but it would not really do much.
So she's gonna save one from. She's gonna save one breath of 1/5 level spell slot at the end, and then at 8.5 minutes, she is going to wait for it to die, and then she's going to attempt to breath of life it.
I let the
a
giant
creature
know
within range that would die, so it doesn't restore it from death; it just prevents it from dying.
Well, we let the
It's
giant
not really
know
that
what-
effective
yeah.
for this particular situation.
Okay. If we were to wish, can I make some calculations on how much it would cost to wish them back to flesh?
Yep. It should be 81 exactly.
Each or for one?
For each creature that you target, though size does not seem to be effective for this, because it's just going to replicate a specific spell.
Confident it's going to work?
Sorry, what was that?
Am I confident it's going to work and not cause them to be a pope?
Confident? Oh, I wouldn't be confident with anything in this situation.
Right.
You
Worst
think
case
it's best to
scenario.
test it on something else first.
So should we wait? Should we wait for the worm to die and then see if the restoration continues?
Okay, let's observe the worm.
Okay, so I elaborate to the giant that we have a plan of what we need to observe to see if this restoration continues after the worm dies, because we can't continue to heal it at the rate that it actually it's being harmed. So we need to observe to see if it continues after it dies.
The giant nods.
While it's dying, can I also try to see how much would it cost me to wish it to heal up?
Elaborate.
So instead of wishing it to uncrystal, I can uncrystal it with this, but I can wish it to wish it some kind of wish regeneration on it, for example. Would that make
That
sense?
depends on how many hit points the creature is missing.
Well, let's say we have it at full. We just want but it's going to be slowly losing the crystals, and then.
And the regeneration spell only lasts for a minute, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I went to go look. Regenerate itself only lasts for 1 minute.
So
But
that's
it also
at
only
least-
gives regen 15, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of enough, but for only a minute.
The creature's already at minus 49 hit points per round. Sorry,
so
minus
it speeds
61 hit
up.
points per round. It speeds up at a rate of 1
Speeds
per round.
up. Yes, we can't. Okay. Any. So it's. Yeah. Is
Oh, you know what?
there a
Here's something
spell
neat.
effect it can replicate that that will just, you know?
There's one more line in regenerate that might actually be relevant. Each time a creature regains hit points from regeneration, it also regrows one damaged or ruined organ, if any. During the spell's duration, the creature can also reattach severed limbs, blah blah blah. That's not that important. So it actually it straight up regenerates organs as a part of the process. So that actually negates some
There
of
is
the
a
actual
specific
damage
spell
it's directly
for
taking.
81 points that it would restore it entirely. I'm not going to say which one it is because you're not aware of which spell it is. As for the regenerate effect, that could quite possibly be the spell.
For 81 charges. If
Is
it's
it eight?
heightened to 9, the regen goes to 20. By the way.
Okay. We don't have, like, we can afford to use 81 charges 3 times, but it kind of uses half of our chalice charges. Although having a giant friend seems useful.
Yeah, I would incline to agree.
Do we want to do this?
Yeah, I guess we're wait to see if the restoration. Oh, I don't know. Do we really want to test it on the worm?
No. I don't think we need to test it because if it doesn't work, we can always use enough for another 10 charges through resurrection.
That's actually true. I mean, ultimately, it
It saves us
we-
71 charges.
that is actually true in the end. If we can watch to make sure if it actually the restoration continues as it's intended, and then if it continues, then you can turn around and do true resurrection afterwards, right?
Alright,
All right.
so
I
you're
guess we're
waiting until
gonna
the creature dies?
what? Yeah, and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Alright. After a couple minutes, the creature bleeds out and finally perishes. And with that, the restoration ends.
So it stops uncrystalling.
Yep.
Okay. Going to, well, I guess you should explain to the giant that our option is that we have one more thing, but the fail safe would be resurrection if it fails.
I do elaborate that this is the idea that we have, but we're not. But oh, sorry. Let me phrase this better. We believe that we have the means to do this and be able to use a regeneration effect on a creature while they're in the process of being uncrystallized. We just didn't think it would be best to spend what resources we have on regenerating this worm. So it may be possible
How many
to do this
times
for you. How many times what?
can you do this?
He turns around and he translates a Sabo.
We can do it multiple times, but we only have one fail safe. We only can do the resurrection once.
We can attempt it. We can attempt it multiple times, but we only can attempt a resurrection once.
If I get another worm, can you test it on this?
Turns around and back to Sabo again.
I will just say, theoretically, yes, we can test. It's a very expensive effect, though. I don't know how to bargain with a giant.
We can attempt to do so, but it's very but it is very expensive. It's very taxing on the item that we are using to do it with.
How many times?
How many times he asserts how many times? I think he wants to know whether it really weigh the risks of of testing it on the worm and then potentially doing it as child, or does he really only have one chance of doing it and choosing only as child?
We can do it 3 times. Just considering that we have one resurrection as well, I don't know if it makes sense to spend any resources testing unless he really wants to.
I reiterate that to the giant.
3 times ever or 3 times for now?
For now.
For now.
How long?
How long would it take for us to recharge your chalice?
Is that what 81 lives? Humanoid lives? Each?
It's first time, the number is actually, that Navaris probably actually hears an actual straight up number and understanding, the full width of what that actually means. His jaw drops just a little bit, and he turns back to the giant to regenerate the chalice.
Consider it done.
No, we have means of actually gathering it without murdering.
But no virus, but how much? He was asking how much money you want. Okay. Lost in translations.
Yeah. Like we're going back. We'll just talk it up.
Anyway, I guess by doing it, let's wish a worm to life.
So you want him to go grab the next worm?
If he insists on it.
Alright, he gets up and goes and grabs a worm.
Alright, I will use the wish.
Okay, so you're using the restoration and then the wish?
Is that what I should do? Or was the 81 just... Okay, yes then.
Alright. So, the worm starts splitting open, and then chunks of flesh basically start to coat the outside of it as the crystal is being ejected through the layers of flesh as it forms. Kind of like the body is spitting out what should not be there. Over about a minute, the worm kind of bleeds out all of the chunks of crystal, and by the end of it, there is a blue worm as it begins wiggling about.
Okay. Who does he want to go first?
My son.
Okay then. Power up the sun.
Now,
He picks up the boat and begins to take the boat inside of his house.
I imagine it goes without saying that this is probably a horrifically painful. I'm assuming.
Having the boat picked up like that?
No, having
For the worm.
worm was.
Oh, yes.
I imagine the. So I'm assuming he understands that the son
He is,
going through this process
he is aware of how
also can
painful
be
it is.
awful.
He just does not care that it is painful.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah.
For giants, it's all about the result, not the method to get there.
Yeah, of course.
As he takes the boat inside, you see inside of his spire magnificent designs. Of relatively simplistic designs, but magnificent. You see woven wood sculptures. For example, you see almost an entire house that has just been handcrafted by the giant, where he's used tiny chunks of crystal to scrape away and to whittle it down into a very particular design. You can see
Marius has
a chessboard that is the size of people.
He fights the urge to every single time he sees something new. He fights the urge to stop and like look, and he just sort of almost dragging himself along.
In the heart of this place, you see what appears to be a staff, but it's less of a staff and more of a mountain. It's like one of the biggest trees you've ever seen. It stretches about 100 feet high, slightly taller than a giant. Seems rooted into the ground. As he walks past it, he mentions, "This protects us." Then he places the boat down nice and safely on the desk. As he points to his son, who has been fused to part of the building. You can see that his entire right side is one with the building. The sun is only huge in terms of size. Can't be any older than 4, maybe 5 for a giant.
Do I think that the fact that he's fused to the building is going to be an issue?
Not really. You expect him to peel off of the building. He's probably going to lose that side of himself, but it should be restored by the effect.
Okay. We feed it. We save a son.
Alright. You activate the chalice and make the wish.
Well, we give him the remedy first.
Yeah, the restoration first.
Yep.
Yep. And as you see him start to bleed on the inside, as his organs are being restored, you activate the effect right as the crystal begins to crack. As you see the giant watching patiently to see what happens to his son. You can tell that he is ready to destroy your entire ship if this goes wrong. As you see the flesh start to appear on the outside of his son, it quickly wraps around him. And then chunks of crystal puncture through the flesh as the flesh closes up after the chunks of crystal are ejected. Over and over and over this occurs, over the course of a minute. And as the last chunk is ejected, the boy coughs up a little bit of blood, as he is no longer fused to the side of the building, and he pulls himself free. Father! Father! I am flesh again. The giant looks at you all and nods.
Kevin will nod back.
Can you do this once more?
Translates back to Sabo.
Uh, yes. But like Nalvarius. Oh, like between me and Nalvarius, what do we know about payment with the Giants, right? Like I don't really want to ask him for a lot of money, but I feel like maybe the Giants should be grateful and just give us a fucking great reward anyway. How does that work with Giant culture between what we
Giants do actions, so him owing you would result in him doing something for you at your request. So
Okay,
you
that's
would say,
perfectly
hey, I
fine.
need you to do something, and he would do it. He would technically owe you 2 lives, him and his son.
I'm assuming
And
it's
the war.
an honor bound type of system. It's
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's not so much honor, because they don't really care for honor. It's more, you have done this, so I factually owe you this. There's no real emotion or title or honor involved. More just a statement
Even trade
of
of favor.
Yeah.
Or even
Oh.
trade of service, probably more accurately.
It just doesn't really occur to a giant to want to deceive you.
Awesome. So yeah, tell him we can do it again.
my companion says we can do it one more time.
Then on me.
He's ready.
The giant slams
repeat.
his sword into the side of the building, piercing straight through, as he grips on it and is ready for it to occur to him.
Yeah, just gotta make sure that the ship isn't blasted by the gigantic chunks of crystals flying out of him. But yeah, otherwise we do it.
The ship is far enough away that it shouldn't.
Okay. Yep. Cool.
Alright. Then he drinks the drop. And you can then see throughout his body the blood begins to rush. Do you make the wish?
I was just thinking that this is the moment to betray the giant, but yes, I make the wish.
Okay. So, the giant's body gets covered in flesh, this time before he begins to crack, just because of how large he is. And then, over the course of a minute, you see the chunks start to be spat out. Fortunately, it all occurs quick enough that within a minute, there is no crystal left within him. At least none that you're aware of. And after that minute of pain, the giant stands before you, intact and whole. I am grateful. You have saved my son's life.
We are glad that we could help you and your son.
Yes.
This container, he points to the chalice. This is the item that restored me.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
This is the
Quite.
item that requires lives.
It does, but we also need to be there for it. But yes,
The giant pulls his sword out of the wall, reaches into the hilt of it, and with both hands he kind of crunches out a crystal. It's probably about the size of... it could easily fit in your palm as he lowers the crystal down to you all.
Thank you. With that.
One moment. Just quickly looking for an old thing. Sorry, it's going to take me 2 minutes to find this item. Maybe a minute or two more.
Greeny, the Magnificent.
Greeny the Magnificent.
Where the fuck did he get this? Did he actually drain himself by using it? I'm gonna need to switch to my phone in a moment.
Okay.
But not quite yet.
That's fine. It's almost 12:30. It's getting up to wrapping up time for me, anyways.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Not kidding. It's been wrapping up point for me today's middle of my work week.
let's face it, D&D is more important than a work week.
That's the spirit. Sorry, I found the dock, I'm just looking for the item on it.
Not when a mistake on my part can kill.
A mistake on your part in D&D can also kill.
That's
True.
This is correct.
Those things are completely equal. There is no differences at all.
Yes. Though usually,
Just cast Raise Dead.
yeah.
That's what those paddle things do, right?
Technically, no. Technically, no. They, that's definitely one of the things that when you really start working
Yes,
medical,
that they
and you
don't
watch drama,
actually do.
and they watch drama shows like that. The conversion that it's referred to as a cardiovert. It's used when you want to put the person's heart back into a proper rhythm. Not
Yeah,
to
they
start
have
the
to
heart
have
again.
a rhythm to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Also, they're really good at stopping rhythms as well.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
When
He
you
he places down this little stone that is crackling with lightning.
I like lightning.
Mhm.
Lightning good. Or maybe attach it to ship so it shoots lightning.
I will trade you this for that. As he points at the chalice.
He like he looks over to Sabo and he just translates what he just said. Obvious, and he just I'm assuming the answer is no.
Most likely. I doubt that whatever he's offering is worth the chalice.
What is it?
He turns back and says, "My companion is reluctant to make any sort of trade for the chalice. But what is this gem that you offer?"
It is the lightning stone shard of divinity.
The lightning shard stone of divinity.
Mm.
He picks it up with his finger, and you see him shoot off lightning with one of his hands. You see that the lightning seems to be amplified in some way. He then places it back down.
We could power the ship with that, maybe.
What exactly do you want me to translate to him?
I'm not sure. Would definitely be a great reward for saving them. However, I do not think that we can trade this chalice for anything, as it's simply too versatile.
We cannot we cannot make such a trade. The chalice has
Okay.
been
He picks up his sword and places the gem back in the hilt. He then puts his sword back down. He stands up, picks the ship up, and begins walking outside with it. He seems to struggle a bit more now that he's flesh. As he's walking, he
I'm
says,
back.
"What do you want from me?"
obviously I just translate it back out to the party.
And if you'd
Sorry,
like,
what happened? Because
the giant just picked up the ship and is taking it outside. He's asking what you guys want from him.
No, I'm just saying oh, okay. Never mind, sorry.
And we can end it there if you'd like, so that you guys can have the week to decide what you want to ask of him.
Yeah.
what did he think about? Did you suggest the reward idea?
Novarius started to say no, and then the giant cut him off after the giant heard no and put the stone away.
Okay. Okay, I mean we can end it, but we should